Hi! We've got a lot to talk about today, so let's just get into it.
I don't know where I am, I don't know where you take me, I don't know where you take me. I just follow your trail and I'm losing your mind and I'm losing your head.
So, today's the Apple event that I talked about in my vlog last week, and I think it's still happening, so I'm gonna watch as much of it as I can, and then when it's done, I will talk about what happened and what they announced.
And it's up to a whopping 6 times faster than the top-selling Chromebook. iPad leaves the competition in the dust.
So that brings us to iPad Air. iPad Air was designed to deliver pro features at a very affordable price. And today, we are thrilled to introduce an all-new, completely redesigned iPad Air. And here it is.
Be myself.
So, presentation's over. It's been a couple hours. I'm gonna find somewhere to sit down and talk about my thoughts. Sorry if it's a little bit shakier than normal. I left my GorillaPod at home, so I'm just holding the camera directly instead of holding it by anything else. Yeah, let me find somewhere to sit down and talk. Alright, so, as of several hours ago by now, Apple has announced a bunch of new stuff. I'm gonna hit the highlights here real quick. So Apple has announced the Apple Watch SE, the Apple Watch Series 6, an 8th generation iPad, and an all-new iPad Air. Now, this is basically pretty much exactly what I said last episode that Apple was gonna do. Also, obviously, they've announced iOS 14, which will be coming out tomorrow, I believe, which I think will also be the day that this video goes live. So, but other than that, yeah, it's just the big things anyway are iPads and Apple Watches. So the Apple Watch SE is like a kind of a budget version of the Apple Watch. It's got all the, it's still got all the like big ticket features, the ability to sync with your iPhone and do all the cool smartwatch stuff, but it's a lower price and with like fewer bells and whistles, I guess. New Apple Watch Series 6, their like flagship Apple Watch, has apparently a blood oxygen sensor and an app to go with it. Some new case finishes, new performance improvements, better processor, and all that stuff. Yeah, let's see, is there anything else here? An altimeter. Apparently there's an always-on altimeter that'll give you real-time elevation information. I don't know. I'm not sure why most people would need that, but it's there. Okay. And then the 8th generation iPad. And as they say, it has a huge jump in, those are their words, not mine, jump in performance. The A12 Bionic chip, which I think was the chip from the iPhone 10s? Just a second, let me look that up. The A12 Bionic was, A12 Bionic was the 10s and 10R. And so that's the processor that's going to be in the new iPad. Physically, though, it's basically a standard iPad. There's not a whole lot of like redesign or anything. more performance, iPad OS 14, sorry. Better performance, iPad OS 14. Apparently it's supposed to be more environmentally friendly, like with using all recycled aluminum and, all that kind of stuff. But the physical design of it doesn't look too much different. What is different, what I think is the most exciting new thing, is the new iPad Air. And the new iPad Air has the A14 Bionic, which I think that's the first thing that the A14 has ever been in. I'm not 100% sure. Let me look it up real quick. But yeah, A14 Apple. The new iPad Air is the first thing that the A14 Bionic has been in. So I guess this will be the kind of the proving ground for the next generation of Apple processors, especially since there are rumors that that a version of the A14, or at least a processor calling itself A14 something, will be in the first Mac powered by Apple Silicon instead of Intel CPUs. But the design of the iPad Air is quite a bit different. Like, there's a lot of the same design language from the new iPad Pros. It's like the edges are flat instead of like being all curved and rounded. It's more flat and boxy. I mean, the corners are rounded, but like the edges are flat instead of being tapered. It has a USB-C port now. Thanks, Apple, for finally getting with the times. Although not entirely, because the 8th generation standard iPad still has Lightning, but Apple is doing Apple things. I say, surrounded by Apple products. But I think this one also has like something interesting to say. Yeah, there's a new Touch ID sensor. Apparently, it's going to be like the power button. So instead of having just a standard power button, right? Is it the power button? Yes. So the Touch ID for the new iPad Air will be built into the power button on the side, because like the iPad Pro, which it shares a lot of the same design language with, it no longer has a home button. So the Touch ID would be built into the power button on the side. So yeah, I think that about does it for all the stuff Apple announced. It's mostly exactly what the rumors were saying, except for they didn't announce any sort of like tracking tile thing like some of the rumors were saying they might. So it's interesting. On one hand, they give us the upgraded iPad Air, which is basically everything I wanted out of a new iPad. It's going in the same design direction as the iPad Pro, which I really like. It has USB-C, which I really like because it's standard. USB-C is basically standard for mobile devices now, and it'd be nice if Apple got on that trend, but But then we have the upgraded 8th generation standard iPad, which has upgraded internals, but the physical body is the same thing as everything else. It's the same physical body as not all of the other iPads, but it's basically the same as the last gen. There's no new different body design or anything. They're not taking it in the same direction as the iPad Pros and the new iPad Air. So there's kind of this interesting mishmash of iPads where you have the old style iPads being the standard iPad and the iPad mini, and then the new iPads being the iPad Pro and Air. Yeah, we'll see where it goes, and then also we'll see what happens when later in October when they announce the iPhone 12. So yeah. Alright guys, that about does it for me. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when I post new videos. See you next time.